Well, our forces have called ceasefire in the valley. We have promised not to launch special operations. And at the border, the situation is tense. Pakistan has been opening fire on civilians, getting in breaking news of an 8-month-old who's been killed in Pakistani firing. Republic TV has pictures of this child, this 8-month-old child who was killed in Pakistani firing in a ceasefire violation. But we are not broadcasting these pictures. It's inhuman, it's brutal. An 8-month-old killed in Pakistan Army's firing in Aknur sector along the line of control. Let's go across to Tejinder, who's been tracking the details. He's been in the Arnia sector today. He's been traveling, getting us ground reports of Pakistan violating ceasefire. We have those pictures, Tejinder, of this 8-month-old who was shot at by Pakistani forces. A bullet that went through the child entered from the front of his body, and the bullet mark is seen at the back of this child's body. Gruesome to say the least, Tejinder.
Yes, Niranjan, you rightly said this is the most inhuman and the brutal act of the Pakistan Army. The Pakistan Army, which claims to be one of the professional army, but it shows how cowards these are, because they are not sparing even these 8-month-old children, baby boy. This 8-month-old boy, he was playing in his field when a sniper fire from the Pakistan side. The fire was from the Pakistan Army. It pierced through the abdomen of this baby boy, and we at Republic, we are not showing these pictures because these are the gruesome act of the Pakistan Army. Those cowards, they targeted these small kids. Even an 8-year-old baby boy, Nitin, he was targeted by the so-called professional army of the Pakistan, and they targeted this 8-month-old boy. He died on the spot. His parents are devastated because of this act of the Pakistan Army. Niranjan, you know that since morning we have been reporting how Pakistan Rangers, they have been violating the ceasefire on the international border in the Arnia sector, targeting the civilians. Civilians are being targeted. Several civilians have been injured. But this is one of the most brutal act of the Pakistan Army, wherein they didn't spare this 8-month-old boy, and he was killed by a sniper fire. So it is clearly visible, Niranjan, that this sniper fire, so the Pakistan Army personnel who fired at this baby, he clearly saw that this was a small boy, not any army personnel wearing a combat uniform on which he had fired. Clearly this boy, this 8-month-old boy was visible in the sniper, but this coward army personnel of the Pakistan Army chose to fire at this 8-month-old boy. So it clearly exposes Pakistan and Pakistan Army that their intention is to inflict maximum damage, maximum casualty on the Indian civilians. And this is one of the most brutal and inhuman act of the Pakistan Army. Yes, Niranjan.
Tejinder, stay with me because, we have those pictures. Once again, reiterating to our viewers that we have those pictures, but we're not putting out those pictures because they're gory. As per broadcasting norms, we're not allowed to show these pictures. But just to describe to our viewers of how gruesome this act has been by Pakistan, just to describe in brief, there's a picture of a child in Arnia sector. A bullet enters from the front of his body and exits from the back of this child. We have those pictures and they're gruesome to say the least. Gaurav Arya joining us on the phone line. Gaurav Arya is an editorial advisor with Republic TV. Gaurav, we have these pictures of an 8-month-old child. 8 months old, Gaurav.
Yes.
Pakistan Army putting a bullet through a child.
No, you see, if it was a case of artillery shelling, one could have understood because those are indirect weapons and mostly you don't know who's going to get injured. But if a baby has been shot with a rifle bullet, a sniper, which means that this is a deliberate act of murder because through the sniper scope, obviously the baby was visible. So a Pakistani soldier has seen through the scope of his rifle, he has seen an 8-month-old baby boy and he has found it fit to shoot the baby. This is what has happened.
Deliberate act of murder. Gaurav,
absolutely, it's a 100% deliberate act of murder.
But Gaurav, how do you read this? The recent, ceasefire violation at the border and the escalation.
Yes. See, all this had to happen when we decided to unilaterally say that we will observe restraint during Ramzan. Now, this is not a classical ceasefire. The media is calling it a ceasefire. When we said that we will exercise restraint during the month of Ramzan, this was pretty much one-sided. Now, whenever you exercise restraint, we have imposed this upon ourselves. It is not a ceasefire because there is no other party which is following it. I mean, the terrorists are certainly not following it. They, as we announced it, within 24 hours, there were 2 or 3 attacks. Then within 48 hours, Pakistan's, took off at the international border, near Arnia, near Arispura sector. Now you're telling me that Akhnur, this has happened near Akhnur. This is all along that Jammu axis. It is happening, and this is the gift. This is the gift that we said we want peace during Ramadan, and this is what these people are doing. You see, this is all a result of that.
Gaurav, thanks for joining us with those inputs. While we stay on the breaking story, once again telling our viewers that an 8-month-old has been killed by Pakistan, as Gaurav put it. Deliberate act of murder. It's not shelling that killed the child, but a bullet that was put through the child. I think we have some breaking news coming in. Kumaraswamy is speaking. Kumaraswamy is speaking after meeting Sonia Gandhi. Let's cut across live. Let's cut across to A9.